The ambitious vision of the MiG-41, often referred to by its developmental designation PAK-DP, or Prospective Aviation Complex for Long-Range Interception, has for over a decade captivated and confounded military analysts. It was originally presented as the undisputed future of Russian air defense, a revolutionary sixth-generation interceptor destined to succeed the formidable yet aging MiG-31 Foxhound. However, the narrative surrounding this project has shifted dramatically from one of technological aspiration to a case study in systemic failure, becoming a symbol of the profound disconnect between Russia's declared military ambitions and its deteriorating industrial and economic reality. The story of the MiG-41 is not one of aerospace engineering but of persistent and deepening dysfunction, a ghost aircraft that exists more vibrantly in propaganda articles and computer-generated images than in any tangible form on a production line or even as a credible prototype. One of the most damning indictments against the program is the stark and undeniable lack of any concrete, verifiable progress. Despite intermittent announcements and bold statements from Russian officials dating back to the early 2010s, the MiG-41 remains an almost entirely conceptual entity. The global defense community has seen no credible evidence of its existence, no officially released photographs of a physical mock-up, no satellite imagery of a prototype on a runway, no leaked schematics from a factory floor, and no independently confirmed data from engine tests or wind tunnel experiments. This profound opacity stands in stark contrast to other advanced aerospace programs, including Russia's own Su-57, which, despite its own troubled development, has at least produced flying prototypes that have been publicly displayed and even reportedly used in limited combat scenarios. The complete absence of such evidence for the MiG-41 fuels widespread and credible speculation that the project is little more than a paper tiger, a Potemkin village of aerospace design intended to project an image of technological parity with the West that has no basis in reality. The timeline for its development has been a constantly shifting goalpost, with initial projections for service entry in the mid-2020s, now looking utterly fantastical, replaced by vague pronouncements of work continuing, with no firm commitment to a date for a first flight, let alone serial production. Compounding this lack of progress are the technical specifications frequently associated with the aircraft, which stray so far into the realm of fantasy that they are dismissed by most credible aerospace experts as pure propaganda. The claims are extraordinary sustained flight speeds exceeding Mach 4.0 or even reaching Mach 5.0, pushing it into the hypersonic category, the ability to operate at the fringes of space, in so-called near-space altitudes well above 100,000 feet, and even the potential for unmanned or optionally manned operation. Achieving these capabilities would require revolutionary breakthroughs in multiple fields simultaneously. Propulsion systems would need to be a hybrid of traditional jet turbines and scramjet technology, a feat no nation has yet perfected for a reusable combat aircraft. The airframe would have to withstand immense thermal and structural stresses, demanding advanced composite materials and cooling systems far beyond Russia's current demonstrated industrial capacity. Furthermore, the idea of a suborbital interceptor armed with anti-satellite weapons reads more like a science fiction movie plot than a practical military doctrine, raising questions about its purpose, cost-effectiveness, and the immense technological leap required to make it a reality. These fantastical claims serve less as a genuine statement of intent and more as a tool of information warfare, designed to create an illusion of overwhelming technological superiority where none exists. Underpinning this entire saga of stagnation and fantasy is the crippling reality of Russia's economic and industrial base. The development of a next-generation fighter is one of the most expensive and technologically demanding endeavors a nation can undertake. Russia's economy, already strained before 2014, has been progressively strangled by waves of international sanctions, which escalated dramatically following the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. These sanctions have severed access to critical Western high-technology components, including advanced microelectronics, precision machine tools, and sophisticated software, which are the lifeblood of modern aerospace manufacturing. The national budget, now overwhelmingly diverted to sustaining the costly and attritional war in Ukraine, simply has no room for astronomically expensive, high-risk, blue-sky research and development projects like the MiG-41. The Russian aerospace sector itself is a shadow of its Soviet-era predecessor, plagued by decades of underinvestment, a significant brain drain of its most talented engineers and scientists, and deep-seated inefficiencies within its sprawling state-run corporations. The ability to innovate and mass-produce cutting-edge systems has been severely degraded, making the prospect of building an aircraft more advanced than anything in the Western inventory a near impossibility. Even if, by some miracle, the MiG-41 could be built, a growing consensus among military strategists suggests it would be strategically irrelevant and conceptually obsolete upon arrival. The aircraft is conceived as a direct successor to the MiG-31, an interceptor designed during the Cold War for a very specific mission to fly at high speed and high altitude over the vast, empty expanses of Siberia to shoot down incoming American strategic bombers like the B-52 and B-1B before they could launch their cruise missiles. This doctrine is a relic of a bygone era. Modern and future air combat is not defined by fleets of non-stealthy bombers but by a complex, networked battlespace populated by low observable stealth aircraft, hypersonic missiles, swarms of intelligent drones, and sophisticated electronic warfare systems. A dedicated, ultra-high-speed interceptor is a highly specialized one-trick pony in a world that demands multi-role flexibility. Its massive radar signature at high speeds would make it an easy target for advanced long-range air-to-air missiles, and its design would be ill-suited for the dynamic, versatile missions required of modern fighters. The future of air superiority lies in information dominance, stealth, and networking, not in raw speed and altitude, rendering the core concept of the MiG-41 an expensive solution to a problem that no longer exists in the same form. Ironically, the most compelling argument against the necessity of the MiG-41 has been provided by its predecessor. The ongoing war in Ukraine has given the aging MiG-31 a dramatic and unexpected new lease on life. Outfitted with the very long-range R-37M air-to-air missile and, most notably, the Kh-47M2 Kinzhal air-launched ballistic missile, the MiG-31 has proven to be an exceptionally effective and feared weapons platform. Its high speed and altitude provide an ideal launch envelope for these powerful munitions, allowing them to strike targets across Ukraine with little warning. This battlefield success has paradoxically eliminated the strategic urgency to replace the platform. With an upgraded MiG-31BM fleet performing a critical modern role effectively, the rationale for pouring non-existent resources into a hypothetical and fantastically expensive successor has all but evaporated. Russia's immediate military needs are focused on producing and refurbishing existing, proven platforms to replace wartime losses, not on embarking on a decades-long, multi-trillion ruble gamble. The MiG-41, therefore, is a casualty not only of sanctions and industrial decay but also of the surprising and continuing relevance of the very aircraft it was meant to replace. It remains a phantom, a symbol of a future Russia dreamed of but is now utterly incapable of achieving.